Lucky Lefty podcast brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, make sure that you do so
responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly. We're brought to you by CFD Nation, of course. That's where we reside. Presented by Twisted Tea.
Twisted.
Hey, 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 I'm bopping today, love. I'm in a great mood. Man,
That's right.
hey, man, that cat Chief Keef has a project coming out, bro. Chicago. I've been waiting for Chief for a long time, bro. And I usually don't see. All I need is one from Chief. Because I'm not a youngin. So I don't judge. See, I don't judge drill cats like that. Him, Dirk. I don't judge their albums like, oh man, this album. No, I just need one. Just give me that one banger. Just give me that
Okay,
one
so you
Chicago
go by
banger.
singles. You need a
Yeah,
single.
for them, for younger cats. Because I'm not into that. So it's unfair for me to judge these young cats when I really don't give the listening time that deserves.
But you gotta
But
ear
you
for
put me,
music though.
I do. You put me up on Rod Wave. So I only really got into Rod Wave because of you. I really only get into certain people because of Baby Girl. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and my nephews. And I'll give it a listen. And if I'm like, okay, that's a bop. Like, yeah, that's a bop right there. I already know I'm not about to be driving around listening to an 18-year-old. I'm not. I'm just not.
But if it was
It's this young
good,
girl out of Texas that's cold too. I forget her name. Saba Saba something. She's cold.
but if
She
it's good, you gonna take a listen.
was, when you really are into it, it's consistent. It's in your playlist. So every time you get in the car, that's what's playing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that. I'll give it a listen once, maybe twice, and then I'm back to you know, my normal playlist. But I can listen to Kanye's first four albums like every day, all day.
Okay.
I can listen to Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt all day, every day. It's like I can listen to Tribe Called Quest. Like literally the album that got me into hip hop was Low End Theory. I can listen to that every day. I have it on vinyl. My record player right back there. I'll put it on when I'm sitting here working, writing an article.
Yeah, that's right.
Yo, now this is the crazy thing, man. Explain this to me. And we're gonna get to what's smoking. And what's smoking comes courtesy of former Notre Dame defensive back Devin Butler.
That's right.
We kind of teased it yesterday, but we're gonna dive into it real deal today because it connects to the transfer portal and Riley Leonard. So I'm excited to hear it. But don't forget audio edibles each and every day. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. I want you to go over, subscribe, share, hit the like button. It's the Like Lucky Lefty podcast. You already know we spin it different. Before we get to this, dude, answer to me because you're locked in a little bit more. Rod Wave is on tour. Ari Lennox is opening up for him. She went on Angela Yee's radio show and said she felt like that Rod Wave's fans weren't really connecting with her music because her music is more, it's just a different style. Like his stuff is more upbeat and her stuff is a little bit more slowed down. And then, like 2 days after that, she was doing a show and somebody threw a bottle at her on stage, which I always think is whack. Like, come on, man. Like, we throwing bottles. You can go if you don't like who's on stage, go to the concession stand. You know,
Alternatives.
get on your phone, text, do something. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that was strange for her to publicly say that during a tour?
That's just a person's opinion. I do think that you gotta know who kind of fits what you doing too. You know, it's also a style thing. You're not gonna bring Waka Flocka to a bar lounge, you know, intimate type of concert tour. You know, that's
Hmm.
more festival, that sort of thing. So you got to know kind of what you have as a musical career yourself, and then align that with people that are in that similar category because you know that's what fans come to hear, that style of music. I mean, I think Ari Lennox is a great, you know, performer and all of that. I think when she does things in collab with other rap artists,
Hmm.
those songs are good. I think if she's up there performing her singles and stuff, you know, I don't believe the crowd probably majority mixes as well as they should. I mean, you look at Tyler the Creator's concert every year, they even boo Drake.
Yeah,
So if Drake getting booed, then I mean, hey,
yeah,
you're gonna have to suck that one up.
yeah.
But you know, it goes back to you're not gonna put Ari Lennox in a opening up for a heavy metal band.
I mean, there have been some combinations like that.
Unlikely.
There's been some strange combinations, dude. I mean, heck, Aerosmith and Run DMC did a tour together, dude, and it changed literally both of their careers and like broke through the barrier for like hip hop. Next thing you know, hip hop was on MTV, like just immediately, just from that strange connection and tour. So I would take a lot. I would take more chances if I were a hip hop artist with different audiences. The way music is universal today. 'Cause music is music now. You hear it on every station, bro. There is no. This is just well. I mean, if you're talking about like old school rock stations, old school hip hop stations, old school R&B stations, those exist. Well, if you go to a mainstream station,
What considers it old school, like 2000 and below?
well, that's what they call themselves.
I mean, when does what era is the old school
I
sound?
think
I
old
guess.
school is probably 8 to 10 years. Anything that's 8 to 10 years old can be considered old school.
Dang.
Like old Drake can be considered. Oh, his mixtape can be considered old school.
But that's kind of crazy because that's
Like
like,
College Dropout is old school.
is it?
Oh, that's 2004.
But like,
No, 2000. I take that back. College Dropout was. I might be right.
is it old school? Is it old school because I don't think it's old school if they're still alive in their career though. I think it's a
Well,
classic.
first of
I
all,
don't think
he
it's,
his career is yeah. I was right. That was 20. That album was about to turn 20 in February, bro. Think about that.
but he still has a music career going.
As a producer,
Whoa.
he's
He
gonna
about to
drop an
drop.
album. He's about to drop an album to coincide with the anniversary of College Dropout.
Right, but I'm saying he's an
That's that's
artist though.
that's what motivated him, dude. Like
Right,
Jay
but
Z still technically has a career,
no.
dude. Jay just dropped the album and did a world tour. Like
3, 4 years ago.
you act like that's a long time.
No. 2017. That's
No, it wasn't 2017 because
2018. That's six. That's
it
five
was
years
like
ago.
2018, 2019.
5 years ago. Okay. Kanye just dropped the album last this year. Matter of fact,
Jay Z just closed the Grammys last year
that's not a career. We talking
with
about
a hit. No, no,
dropping beats.
no. You said artist. He just put out a huge feature that won Grammys and closed the Grammys out. That's huge as an artist. And he's in a different era. because he can do that. He doesn't have to put out albums anymore.
That's
He
like
can make an
having
impact.
Boys to Men closing the Grammys. They're not putting out music though.
You don't close the Grammys unless you're doing numbers, bro. Let's stop acting like you got to have a hot
Boys to
song.
Men sell out tours. They're selling a
When's
tour
the
right
last
now.
dude? Boys and Men don't have no top 10 hits.
Neither does Jay-Z right now.
What are you talking about? He had the hottest feature, probably one of the hottest features on a song last year. God Did was one of the hottest, most
Oh, oh,
nominated
oh.
songs.
I'm talking about him putting out music, not him featuring. That's like what, one
Bro,
feature every now
bro,
and then. He's not having an active like Drake has an active music.
anybody that thinks God Did wasn't his song, go. Wayne had like 24 bars. Jay did like 4 minutes, bro. So
Well, you know, some of that he just be talking through. It ain't really no. You know, they got a stunt for about a minute 30 of it.
I don't know. I watch the Grammys still to this day. So I don't know. I watch the Grammys because the Grammys still hold weight. Ask these artists. See, artists kill me because they talk crazy. They talk crazy. That's why y'all stop falling for this narrative and this low hanging fruit. Because artists will get on these podcasts. Left. This is what kills me. Like, the Grammys are this, boycott the Grammys, and the moment they get nominated, the price of their tag just go up. You don't think the price to get them to come do a show goes up when they get a nomination?
I don't know.
See, if you don't care about the Grammys, then keep the same price tag you had prior to the nomination. But they don't.
I guess they say they don't care about winning it.
Dude, they talk, I don't care about the show. I'm not going. But when that Grammy nomination comes, like, oh man, we could charge 5 more stacks. Yeah, you can.
That's the price of business.
Because now you can say Grammy or not Grammy nominated. So don't tell me it doesn't matter, but you're willing to use it for your business benefit.
Yeah, but that's a business thing, not a.
Well, wait. See, either you don't rock with it or you do. Either you don't rock with it or you do.
But you
Right?
don't nominate
Either
yourself though. So being
no, no,
nominated
no, no.
is
This has nothing to do with who nominates you. If you're going to use the benefits of being Grammy nominated or a Grammy Award winner. See, people do. The argument is not about whether the Grammys are worth anything. They hold weight when it comes to the price tag still in the music business. So that ticket that you're paying $100 to go see somebody is predicated upon their resume. And as soon as they become Grammy nominated, the price of that concert ticket is going to go up another $20, $30. It's the way of the world. I just bought Janet Jackson tickets for my daughter
see that's
at the
different.
at
Yes.
at the bowl out there.
Yeah.
The what is it called? The
The
Hollywood Bowl?
forum or the Holly or the Holly, yeah.
Is that what it's called? The Hollywood Bowl? Dude, they were starting at like 250.
I believe it.
But that's Janet's resume, dude. Anytime she goes on tour, all she has to say is,
Well, her name is Janet Jackson, so
and that as well. That as well.
that's gonna sell something.
I feel like these Beyonce tickets are out of control.
Beyonce just should be robbing the poor, man.
Out of control. You can throw Taylor Swift tickets in there as well.
I mean, is it if people gonna buy it? That's the thing. It's only out of control if people don't buy it. Like Drake had lowered his tickets
Hmm.
because people couldn't buy it, but people bought Beyonce tickets.
Yeah.
Like
Hey,
it wasn't even no problem.
hey, we can keep it a buck.
and she got $100 album out right now.
Hmm.
$100.
From a stadium standpoint, how much value? Because I think Notre Dame football tickets are out of control. We can get into it, dude. Day of, I see people on Facebook selling Notre Dame tickets at the top of the stadium for like 200 a piece with a parking pack against like a MAC school. And I'm like, are people getting this?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I thank God that I went to a Big Ten school and knew dudes on the football team. That's the only way I was able to travel around the Big Ten stadiums. Because these ticket prices,
Just not worth it.
man, Lucky Lefty podcast. All
Well,
right,
that's the
bro.
question. That's the poll question. Who would you pay to go see though? Because some people I pay to go see.
You want me to put that up? Because I got to, wait a minute. Poll question of the day is up right now at YouTube. Go subscribe. Left, you'll like this because I'm before we get to what's smoking. I can't wait to see what you say about this. Left, what is the greatest Heisman class ever? Here are your choices: 2010, Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, LaMichael James; 2005, Reggie Bush, Vince Young, Matt Leinart; 1982, Herschel Walker, John Elway, and Eric Dickerson; 1988, Barry Sanders, Troy Aikman, and Rodney Peete, or other. Go to the YouTube channel and let us know what you think. The greatest Heisman class ever. What do you think? That Herschel Walker, John Elway, that that's old, but that's a pretty impressive class, bro. And the 05 with Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, and Vince Young was tough too.
Everybody, Reggie Bush was the one though. Vince Young was having a really good season though too.
Because him and Matt, yeah, because Vince Young was mad that he didn't win.
But come on, Reggie Bush was generational.
Hmm.
Like, come on, he was that dude.
In fact, he was.
Like he was an urban legend. He was so good.
Oh, absolutely.
But what would I say? I think the years Deshaun was in it, probably some of the best.
What was that?
Him,
15 and
Lamar,
16.
Lamar, and
Oh, that's a good class.
Trevor or something like that.
I wasn't Trevor. It was Deshaun, Christian. No, one year it was just Deshaun and Christian as the finalists.
Mm,
No, it was Deshaun, Christian McCaffrey, and Derrick Henry. That's a
mm.
pretty good class.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's that dude though. I ain't gonna lie.
That was a pretty good class. Henry, Deshaun, yeah, that's a pretty good class.
And then it was Lamar, Deshaun, and somebody else.
And that's another good one. That's another good one. The 98, Peyton Manning, Randy Moss, and Charles Woodson. That's a good class too.
Mm,
I don't know how I forgot about that. Well, that's why I left the other.
right.
That's why I left the other. But yeah,
There
Peyton,
hasn't
Randy
been any
Moss.
good ones for a long time though.
No, no.
Not for at least 10 years,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Sid Irish, you out of your mind if you think Charles Woodson was overrated. You out of your mind. You are out of your mind. Overrated? Nah, fam. And he had a cold Heisman moment. That punt return against Ohio State, like that's what it is. You have to be a dude and then have moments.
Moment.
The one-handed interception on the sideline against Plaxico Burrs and Michigan State, and then picking off Ryan Leaf in the Rose. Man, stop. Stop. Hey, just stop. Stop. You might as well say he was overrated in the NFL, which he wasn't. It, I don't know, man. I don't know. I got too much respect for any dude that's put on the ice every game. Now, if you want to talk about Randy Moss, probably had a better season. Let's see, this is what I'm saying. Why does Charles Woodson have to be overrated because the voters screwed up? Charles Woodson asked them to vote the way they did. I respect any dude every game that comes out. Y'all got the rest of the field. That's y'all. The other 10. And it's like, this is me. At that position too, that's tough, left. That's
Tough.
tough. Let's get to it. All right, let's get to it, man. Lucky Lefty podcast. What's hot? What's hot is this conversation, which I just don't understand. People, the protectors are out there, left. You know how
That's right.
some people just want to protect Notre Dame, and that's cool. But our guy Devin Butler from the Lucky Underdogs, who co-hosts with CJ Pro Sites. Go check him out, Lucky Underdogs on Believe Network. He said, I don't believe Riley Leonard is better than the quarterbacks we have in the room at Notre Dame. And going so hard to bring in a new guy shows the guys in that room shows that you have little confidence in the guys in that room. That's a recipe for the same mid-tier disappointing season as this year. And this is no disrespect to Riley. He's a tough-ass competitor and a good kid by all rights. Sucks he wasn't healthy all year. Could have been special. And damn near looking at the Shield, the NFL. I just believe we got a guy in our room already. That's from Devin Butler on Twitter. See, this is my problem. If somebody just hit me with some foolishness, right? Just left my response. I retweeted it, and I was like, yo, somebody hit me and was like, yo, I don't want to play guys that don't have experience. So I just started throwing out all the quarterbacks that had no playing experience. I was like, CJ Stroud got blamed for the Oregon home loss and played terrible his first game against Minnesota. He didn't have any game experience. Bryce Young didn't have any game experience. Brady Quinn didn't have any game experience. I just went down the list. You know how many quarterbacks start and play without game experience? Here's the first lame excuse. Oh, you're talking about 5 stars. 5 stars flop every year. All the 5 stars out there are high 4 stars. Everybody at the Elite 11, out of all the quarterbacks at the Elite 11, 3 really become good. 3 to 4 from every class.
Just about 3, 4, maybe
3 to
2.
4. Trevor Lawrence had playing experience. And see, this is the problem. And I'll say this and I'll let you ride. See, the problem is, and I've been saying this when it comes to Notre Dame, Steve Angeli and Kenny Minchey should be ready to play football right now. It shouldn't even matter. We don't need Sam Hartman to beat Oregon State. If you are a real football program, and you, especially if you have quarterbacks coming to your program in January, they should be ready to play come November and run the offense. Period. So what are we talking about? Coach the darn players, man. Coach the darn players. You're telling me it's a difference when you got 5-star players, dude. So basically now you're opening up another window. So basically you're saying you got a problem with player evaluation in your program. It's one or the other.
One or the other.
Either your player evaluation stinks or your development stinks. It's one or the other. Brady Quinn wasn't a 5-star. Jimmy Clausen was a 5-star. You know why Brady Quinn played early? Because Charlie Weiss was a great evaluator of the position and he could coach the position. You know what the problem is being under Tommy Rees? That dude couldn't evaluate the position. And the proof is in the pudding. And the 2 dudes left are Tommy Rees evaluations. We like Kenny Minchey, but he's a Tommy Rees evaluation. Plain and simple. Period. That's football. Either you can coach it or you can evaluate it. That's why the same coaches end up with good quarterbacks. Because either they can evaluate or they can coach. What we say, Malik Murphy is hanging around. Why?
Got
Steve,
Steve Sarkisian.
Steve Sarkisian. He hasn't put his name in the portal, has he left?
You gonna
And
leave a good coach?
Quinn Ewers is talking about coming back. And Malik Murphy is like, no, I'm trying to go to the league.
Yeah, I got time.
Yeah, this dude is going to get me to the league. It's simple. Notre Dame has not been good at evaluating the position and developing the position for about 5 to 6 years. It is what it is. You just go look at the Tyler Buckner class. Tommy Reese evaluated and came up with Tyler Buckner is the guy I want to go get. And that dude is about to be playing lacrosse at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And even if you felt like the evaluation wasn't spot on, you should have put the offense and built it around him. Build an offense around him. But Tommy, just like, and then Tommy had an experienced head coach at Alabama this year.
He did.
That pulled his reins and said, dude, you can't ask Jalen Milroe to do that.
Can't do it.
Go watch what he was asking Jalen Milroe to do against Texas and what Jalen Milroe ended up doing later in the season.
Drastically different.
Yeah, Tommy tried to change it. Tommy tried to make him a pocket passer. It's not who he is.
You gotta coach to you guys, man. And that's what's so important. Is that if you're not coaching to your guys, then you don't have a successful system. If your system isn't built around your quarterback, you don't have a system at all. And I think Tommy's poor evaluation is more of his fantasy of what he wants in his own system, but you got to coach to what you have. And you saw that struggle happen real early, but as a great coach in Saban, he nipped it in the bud and said, no, we're not doing that. Coach to what we got and make it work. I tweeted that. Nick Saban said we playing Milroe and make it work. And Tommy had to make it work. And you know, because of the talent Alabama usually has every year, it's not like he had to go from scratch. You know, he just had to shuffle the pieces around a little bit.
Right.
And they'll perform how they got recruited.
Yeah.
So thank goodness Tommy came into a quarterback situation, not him building the room and then going about the quarterback situation, because I think that's where he went wrong at Notre Dame. You had an empty room with no talent. So your system's not going to look good. You went into a system that had talent in there, so your system, when adjusted to what you had, I mean, it was more of a layup than a three-point shot.
Yeah.
But when you got to recruit, evaluate, get the guys in there, and then make your offense support that, that's taking the ball up out of bounds, full court, 94 feet, getting pressed. And the clock winding down. And you got to hit the three to win.
Yeah.
At Alabama, you take it out of half court. You just got to run the offense, put the right guys in the right place. And they're going to Shaq and Kobe that triangle offense, get you a bucket.
Yeah.
It's different. So for us, we just have to be able to know who we are and evaluate and put the offense around our quarterback. Sam came in with a different feel for what he was recruited there to do. So of course there was some mishaps throughout the season where it was a disconnect. You're like, we got this guy for what? There was points in the season as we had to question, what do we get this guy for? Because he's not necessarily making offense better. He's looks almost regressing to what he was doing at Wake Forest. It's like, we was going to do that. We might as well get a guy off the roster. I think
Yeah.
this year's schedule is much more conducive for getting a guy off the roster because the question has to be answered. Is it your evaluation or is it the coaching? Because it's rare that a top program in the country doesn't have a quarterback in the wings. It's understandable to have transfers, but we don't. What top program don't have a young kid in the wings trying to start the next year? I don't know a program that's competing for championships that doesn't have that. I think we're the only one that is so hyper focused on getting a quarterback transfer
Especially
as a
when you are limited to 1 year guys in most
and on top
situations.
of that, you've been there. Most quarterback transfers happen for guys and coaches that are just getting to a school.
Yeah.
We're getting transfers being at a school with the staff intact for the last 4 or 5 years. Still getting transfers.
Yeah.
That's the red flag. Marcus Freeman been there for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
Head coach for three, going on three. And you getting transfer quarterback still.
Hmm.
You didn't just get to Notre Dame or come from another program and go to Notre Dame. You was already in the building. And you at the present moment of your time in Notre Dame still getting a transfer guy. That's the odd part.
Now let me throw. I won't say flowers because I know how you feel about flowers. Let me throw some now laters at your feet.
Yeah, no, let's lift some weights together.
Okay. We doing the hexes or we doing the
Yeah, we doing some deadlifts. Let me
I
do some
prefer
deadlifts with
I
you.
prefer the kettles. I'm a
That's right.
kettlebell dude.
We like the kettlebell swings.
All right, let's do some kettlebell swings right now. Let's go back to 2015. The one thing you can speak to this, because it goes to you can say what you want to say about recruiting. The one thing BK did early with Tommy, Ev, you, Deshaun. By your red shirt freshman year, all of y'all were ready to play.
Yeah.
All
Oh
of
yeah.
y'all.
Everybody was ready to play.
After that first year, everybody's ready to play. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I was so focused on you and Ev after 14, I wasn't thinking about Deshaun Kaiser.
Deshaun was about to transfer to Toledo and play basketball, football.
When Deshaun came in versus Virginia, I was scared to death. I was like, oh my God. Like, dude, I hope this kid does not lose us this game. And then this dude goes to Clemson in the rain and comes
Play well.
within 2 points of beating Deshaun Watson that team. That dude was ready to play.
Yo, he was ready to play. No, he played well.
But talk about the quarterback coaches you guys had. Talk
Matt
about it.
LaFleur. Yeah, Matt LaFleur. Come on, that was my favorite out of the bunch. Well, Chuck. Well, it was between. Well, I went there because of Coach Martin, but Matt LaFleur was definitely him and Matt LaFleur. Obviously, they're head coaches now for doing it, doing
Hmm.
great things. Coach Martin just won the MAC. Coach LaFleur just beat the Chiefs. Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love. I know Jordan Love, so you
Jordan
know,
Love is getting better and better.
getting better. Yeah, he's on a natural trend upwards, and that's in being around guys like that, true football guys.
Hmm.
It just builds that pathway of how to get better and the consistency of what it looks like from your coach who's straight about football. And when you don't have the fluff around it, it makes it an easy way to get better. So a lot of it, especially in the league, is about fortunately hoping to get to the right coaching staff that knows how to develop you, knows how to win, wants to win. Because sometimes you can go to a bad organization and you could be a good player and just never get a good chance, like Barry Sanders years. But even in college football, Caleb Williams isn't leaving Lincoln Riley. That just it just wasn't happening.
Hmm.
Lincoln Riley could have went to anywhere, and I guarantee you Caleb was going right there because that's the pathway to get it done. That simple. And when you got guys that are not genuinely focused on that sort of way of coaching, because not every coach has that. You they were able to get the most out of what they recruited, and they knew what they was looking for.
Hmm.
So if you get like Coach Martin knew what he was looking for. That's why we all looked like how we looked, and we all had similar but different things about us. But it fit the offense and what we was doing.
Yeah.
That's what made us ready to go because it all fit us, even though we was different in different things.
What was the one thing that you said that stayed with you through life that coach told you when you're talking about watching film versus progress?
Yeah, Coach Sanford always says you don't confuse the working hard aspect or putting in time
Right.
for progress. You can watch film all day, but if you doesn't internalize it and use it to put it on the field, it just doesn't mean anything. So
Hmm.
um, being in that type of aspect, you gotta specify on how to watch film. Not every coach knows how to teach you how to watch film the right way. Going to Florida, I learned how to watch it the right way. From what do you watch each day to how much time you put in each day. You put 2 hours each day in, and by the end of the week, you got 10 hours. But each day is a different day you're looking at something. Third down day, red zone, first and second down. So breaking down a whole week of how to watch film to get ready for a game, you're not gonna get that from every coaching staff. Every coach is different in aspects, but that's why I said sometimes you got to get to the right place. Mike Holmgren's,
Hmm.
Kyle Shanahan's, real football coaches, they always seem to make use of what they have and make it show. And so learning, like that's just an example of the watching film and breaking down how to prepare the right way. There's a million ways of doing it, but this is the a direct way. Before I went to Florida, I was just watching film the coaches watch. Oh, we're just gonna watch a couple cut ups, find some players, this, that, and the third. But going to Florida knowing the right way, a way that if I had it for 4 years, who knows? We had QB test, you know, day before the game, where it'd be snapshots of defenses. What are we, three, four thoughts on third down? Who's the defensive coordinator, where he's from? What's the primary base? That sort of thing. Personnel, all that. Knowing how to break down film, all of that. That's a great development path. At Notre Dame, it was just through different coaches, it was different ways of it being done.
Hmm.
Oh, we're gonna practice these plays, and this is what we're gonna run this week. This is what we're looking for. Whoop de whoop. It wasn't as direct, but that sometimes coaches don't have the same knowledge. Every coach, majority of coaches teaches four verticals, but doesn't teach you what it's called for.
Mm.
So, and the
Explain
history.
that a little bit.
So
When you
everybody
say
teaches four verticals. It's like, oh, you got to go inside the inside seam, the second
right,
seam,
so
and the
if
back.
you got man to man, you attack the outsides,
Yeah, there's a
or if
peer
they got
progression.
zone,
Yeah,
yeah.
pre-snap, you go out to your best matchup. If it's man, if not, you read the three guys to the field to two to the back. But the play is called to hit the running back one on the linebacker
Hmm.
underneath because you're calling it to run everybody off and get your matchup one with the linebacker who's the better matchup. That's why you call the play. So you really calling it to hit the running back.
Hmm.
80, 90% of Americans going to tell you to throw the ball down the field. So it's just that same play. Everybody has it in their playbook,
Yeah.
but only a certain percentage knows how to make you the most successful at it. Put you in the 80 to 90 category of percentage for calling that play as opposed to the standard 50% is completed.
Let's talk about a great example that'll be in New York this weekend, left. Great example. Michael Penix wasn't that dude wasn't 5 star. And he didn't just pop when he got to Washington. He popped with Caleb DeBoer at Indiana. That's when he started to rise. That's coaching, development, and evaluation. That's it. And now we get a Heisman season and his team in the college football playoff because of coaching, development, and recruiting evaluation.
And that's really, sticking with your coach. And it's counterproductive to what the transfer portal has become, where guys can leave at any drop of the dime. But we've seen the guys that have been most successful are guys that's been with their coach 2+ years. Stetson Bennett,
Hmm.
3+, 4+ year guy there. Joe Burrow had two. Jaden Daniels had two. Cam Newton had two. No, he had one. That was a special year though. You know, Jameis Winston had two or three. Had three. My bad.
Hmm.
Same coach. Caleb Williams, same coach. Trevor Lawrence, same coach. Deshaun Watson, same coach. 2+ years. Justin Fields even had 2 years. CJ had 3 years, same. So when you get 2+ years with the same coach, Michael Penix, Bo Nix, hell, Bo Nix was average at Auburn.
Hmm.
He was average at Auburn. And look at what 2 years did for him with the same coach up there in Oregon. Changed his whole life. Now he a top draft pick.
And
From
here we
average to a draft pick.
and here we are once again about to put the full weight of
On a
Notre
one
Dame
year guy, it
football
doesn't
on a
make sense.
1 year guy.
Yeah, and that's exactly why it doesn't make sense. All these guys having special seasons this year. Watch, Shador's going to have an amazing year next year. Watch. Shador's going to have a great year next year because it's his second year in the system. Joe Burrow took 2 years. Bryce Young took 2 years. I mean, when you have the same coach, you're in the same place, you get a chance to put just 2 year plus. It's just
Plus,
it's a
and
wealth of difference.
people don't realize that CJ and Bryce's first years playing were their second year in the system
Yeah,
because they sat and learned in the system. No playing experience. Let's go.
and
Let's
that's
go.
and that's but we're doing the opposite. We're doing it in reverse. We're putting a 2 year expectation of a
Hmm.
guy that transfers in 1 year
Man,
when he
look,
doesn't know anything.
man, if y'all trying to compare Riley Leonard to Cam Newton, y'all need to stop. 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 Stop.
So the proof's in the pudding.
That dude
If
is
you
not
if you
Cam
want
Newton.
success at a transfer guy, you got to give him 2 years. That's just the blueprint. It's obvious. There's no way around it. There's no 1 year guy popping off. It's just not. We tried it with a decorated guy with Sam Hartman and 50 touchdowns and all this and that, and it didn't work. We
Mm-mm.
tried it with Jack Cohn to back up, and he was splitting time, and we didn't give us what we wanted. So what do we continue to do this for when it's been long enough? We've seen plenty of examples of the only transfer quarterbacks that pan out are guys that are 2+ years. It's just what it is. And because the ones that it doesn't require that aren't transferred. They're
Mm.
not transferred because they're probably going to go to the league the next year or help their team win. So it's like we're at a stage where we need a guy to be the now guy, and it's only going to come from your development in house. That's it. We can act like we can just fix it with a transfer and some money in a briefcase. It doesn't work like that. Or there's not the talent level of a guy like that in the portal. Bo Nix couldn't do it. Shit. Hell, Caleb couldn't even do it. And he won
Dude,
the
you're
Heisman.
you're just you're doing a fabulous job of just explaining the position, dude. But I don't think people understand how difficult the position is.
This isn't basketball.
So, left, when somebody like Patrick Mahomes says, I didn't learn how to read defense until my third year, you have to understand that the hand of God is on that dude.
But also, you have to understand that he has Andy Reid. And Andy
Have
Reid has
facts.
been around so long that he's
Hmm.
like, man, this dude can't read no defenses. But how else can we win?
Yes.
How else can we make him comfortable enough to be as good as we know he can be? That's called great coaching. And not every coach can do that. So as confident as Patrick Mahomes can sit there and say that, he's also got Andy Reid. That's like no different than Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
He just got a guy that you think Patrick Mahomes, if he was in Justin Fields' position, would be talking about I can't read no defenses. They asking Justin Fields right now if he can. And he like, man, and Justin Fields told you, it ain't me reading no defenses. They making me do stuff I ain't trying to do. Now just imagine if Patrick Mahomes had to do that. If Patrick Mahomes was confined to not being able to be green lit as he is. It's a whole different conversation off of coaching alone. Andy Reid lets him do whatever he wants. Justin Fields is telling you they making me do something I'm not good with. So,
Hmm.
so that's the difference between a good and a bad football team. We bring in Sam in and say, hey, we need you to play above anything you've played before. Come on now. Come on now. What kind of
Hmm.
Riley Leonard, we're asking you to play better than you ever played at Duke. And when he started to play good at Duke, he got hurt. So he don't even know how good he can be. And we asked him to play better than that in a whole new offense
Yeah.
with all new guys.
Yeah.
And we expect him to just roll out there and just be in sync and know the offense and then on the back end you talking about this is a competition. Like think about how hard this is. That's why they had to clear the decks for Sam because it was got to a point where it's like Sam and Tyler, we can't decide. Duh. Tyler been doing it. So naturally he's just gonna be more comfortable and know the checks and just appear to be better. Like that's what the NFL. So what do you think the NFL does? The NFL does let you go, bury your career, or send you off somewhere. Or they can't have you looking better than the guy they chose. That's just
Hmm.
business. So you gonna bring another dude in here who has no idea what we do on offense, with guys on the roster that's been a guy that's been clearly the most knowledgeable at this point in the locker room is Steve Angeli. He's going to look better than Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard's talent isn't good enough to just overshadow Steve's comfortability in the offense. It's just not going to happen. The only shot that can make it actually competitive and healthy for the team is Kenny Minchey because he's been there the whole season. He knows the guys, all of that. But if you bring in a makeshift team with all these new guys and new quarterback, then bring the quarterback's offense word for word,
Mm.
or you're going to need 2 years.
Mm.
Period. Sam didn't look comfortable the whole season after North Carolina State.
Now, you would have to start that process right now.
And you're not going in there talking about, oh, this is a competition. Oh, we're gonna do 50-50 because you're
Yeah.
just shooting yourself in the foot. So you do all that for what?
Yeah.
So if you bring in Larry Leonard in, you need Marcus Freeman to go in that room and be like, look, y'all not playing. We got to get
Yeah.
him ready as much as we can.
Yeah.
So y'all can transfer whatever. But then it goes back to what's the point? Because regardless of how much you put in, it takes 2 years. It's like cooking a turkey. It takes 16 hours to get 16 hours.
Right. You can't
You can't.
change that.
You can't.
You can't change it.
It's
That's why
24 hours in a day.
and
It's 20,
I wish there was a 4 hour brisket you can make.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
right. Yeah,
I wish there was a 4 hour brisket.
you know,
Unfortunately,
you know, it don't matter how good you marinate it and prep it and season it and get it all preheated and everything. It take 10 hours to make that 10-hour brisket. It don't take 5 hours to make a 10-hour brisket.
no,
It take 10.
no,
So no
no.
matter what you do with Riley Leonard, it's gonna take 2 years. And that's not even how we even select through the transfer, which makes it just a stupid process altogether. It takes 2 years for a quarterback, and anywhere he goes, unless he's me. How about that? And I can't even play no more.
And let's be honest. We can be honest. He's only if he comes to Notre Dame, he's only coming because he got hurt. My
That's
man would
it.
be he would be in the NFL draft if he didn't get hurt. If he played the full season and didn't get hurt, Duke would have had a better record, and he would be in the NFL draft. So now, what's his motivation? Like, yo, I'm really only coming back because I got hurt. So
No loyalty, no interest in developing the team, but for what he needs it for the 6 minutes he's there. So for me, it doesn't make sense, Marcus Freeman. I'd rather you pick up a walk-on quarterback who can service the arms. No, seriously, forget
not
the
a walk
transfer
on.
because you got to pay for that. You don't got to pay
Facts,
for a walk-on. Be smart.
facts.
This is why I messaged him on Twitter and was like, "Hey, let me be your right hand and guide you through this tumultuous storm that you're dealing with out here. Because you need somebody with common sense from Ohio, from your own city, who got your back. Because you're going about it the wrong way. You out here defending the trends. The trend is to go get the quarterback in the portal. But you got to think a step ahead because this is checkers, not chess. We don't go around people. We go over them. You see what I'm saying? So everybody want to go transfer portal, but I'm going to walk-ons because it's free.
You know what this 1 year transfer portal is like, and what Notre Dame fans end up getting left. You remember like one of the first scenes from Harlem Nights when Della Reese walked in and they had Richard Pryor say, "How much y'all make tonight?" She said, "We made about $200." That cat was like, "Y'all been back there all night. All y'all made was $200."
That's right.
I want to know what Quick is trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, y'all been back there all night and you only made $200. Y'all always coming up short. And that's what I feel with these 1 year quarterbacks in Notre Dame. They always coming up short.
No, they coming up great. They getting the bag in a
I
couple
mean,
games and all type of spotlight and coming up short and then getting bailed out by saying they played good. But you know what's crazy? Marcus Freeman needs to go get that walk on. That way it doesn't show a threat to what you developing in that room. Them quarterbacks you got now can look at it and be like, okay, walk on ain't in threat of my position on the team. But he can serve as a scout team because you can get you a good walk on now. Because what's the difference between taking a walk on and a transfer portal? At least the walk on wants to be at Notre Dame and has to do a lot more to get in, and you don't have to do much to recruit it. A transfer portal, you got to recruit, you got to see if he can get in, and he's got all these stipulations, no different than the walk on. At least the walk on got more years for free. And then when he get done servicing the team 4 years later, you do the whole, oh, we bless you with a scholarship, whoop-de-doo, get the good content, and be good stewards.
mm-hmm.
I'm telling you how to do it now. I'm writing the book for you, Marcus Freeman out there. So once you get the walk on, and you can get a good one, there's a bunch of these mid-tier 4 guys that are scrappy. You know, them 3 stars we love to give scholarships to anyway and make captains and all type of punt returners and slot touchdown catches against top teams. So we already know how to build a walk-on up the right way. Jordan Faison, we done built him up from another sport. We done swapped the stick for the football gloves and got him catching touchdowns against top 10 teams. So why do we not stick with that good steward route instead of chasing something we know we can't even allow ourselves to compete in? Let's be serious. We shouldn't be going in no transfer portal for nothing in a criteria type position. Why are we going in there for a quarterback knowing we can't
I mean,
develop them the right way?
if they don't win big next year with Riley Leonard, that will be far more embarrassing than not winning with a first time starter in
Far more
Kenny Pickett,
embarrassing because it's like y'all running in
especially with the
circles.
schedule.
You running in circles. You getting the same amount of production out of Riley that you would get a first time starter that's been in the system. Riley's not changing life with the schedule we got. Nobody can really change life with the schedule we got because we should beat the schedule we have going into next year off of our team alone. It's a great training ground to get ready for the playoffs to be in 12 teams with a guy that has years that is going to be there. You relying on a guy who doesn't have years to do what? He's not going to pull us over the hump to win against these teams that's winning championships. Because what has he done at Duke to even prove you that? At least Sam got a resume. Riley ain't got no resume. Riley got journal articles.
I said they're doing a better job of trying to give Riley some help in the portal at the same time.
But it doesn't matter if we talking about
Oh, I'm
pure
I'm just I'm just saying as far as like accruing
right, but we
talent.
talking about pure talent because we try to get Sam help. We had Tobias Merriweather. We got Chris Tyree who committed to Virginia. We got guys. We had
Hmm.
Lorenzo Style, Braylon James, Jordan Grayhouse, Jaden Grayhouse, Rico Flores apparently, JT, Dion. I mean, we got dudes.
Yeah,
So it's not the help. We need elite talent in the position. Period. We done supported him with everything else. It's like a pig with lipstick on. It's still a pig.
and if I'll keep it a buck, Steve Sarkeesian jump started his program with a 2 year, maybe 3 year transfer.
Yeah,
When
he
he when
told
he
he
got
got Quinn to stay,
when he got Quinn to transfer from Ohio State, and now he has a guy that can set the tone in the quarterback room.
that he's developing.
But he recruited Malik Murphy. He recruited Arch Manning. He's not going back to the portal after Quinn Ewer leaves for the NFL.
Why?
He's
Because he
not going
knows that
back
he
to the
he
portal.
knows what he's been developing in the incubator. Gino Gaduli. What have you
Mm,
developed in the tank? There shouldn't be Marcus Freeman walking up to the podium talking about, oh, I'm about to go to transfer. Well, how? Gino Gaduli's whole job was supposed to prepare both of those guys to be ready at any moment, half the way through the season. Gino
mm.
Gadula is supposed to be coming with reports every week saying, okay, this he's good at this, he's good at this, he's good at this. We can run some stuff here with him. Because I mean, come on, what am I really helping Sam Hartman do on a game to game week? Let that be Jared Parker's thing.
Wait a minute, Steve. We did not see Sam Hartman. Somebody mentioned this in the chat. I forgot who it was. But shout out to you. Sam Hartman was not even allowed, per Marcus Freeman, to really call checks. Steve Angeli came in limited time and was calling checks at the line of scrimmage.
Of course, because he's been in the system. It's like, duh, you're gonna get more from a guy that knows more about it. It's just like these kids with these electronics. If they playing with it 10 hours out of the day, you don't know how to work something on the same. You got the same thing they got,
Hmm.
and you asking them questions, and they don't even know how to do taxes. And they, oh, you just got to do this, daddy. How you not know how to do this? And they, but because they're in that system longer, playing with it, knowing the ins and outs, taking the time, good days, bad days with it. Know all the other things that you probably don't need to know, but know because you playing with the thing so much. It's it's what happens. It comes back to confidence. Steve been watching Sam all year not being able to make no checks. First time he get in, he going in making checks. That's confidence. He's like, man, let me show you how to do this, man. We going to the other side. Hey, flip this, do this, do this. That's confidence. He don't need Gino to tell him that, all right, you activated, go and do your. And he definitely know Marcus Freeman ain't telling him that because they don't believe him. So that's more signature of guys that's ready to lead a team, ready to go out there and give you what we've been looking for because you can trust that he knows what's going on. Riley Leonard, no matter how good you think he is, he's not going to know what's going on, period. And if you don't know what's going on, how can you go out there and go 13-0 this time the third? Jordan Travis is a perfect example of a kid that came in, had a little potential. They was losing, but had a little potential. And by the time he's ready to get out of there, they undefeated with a championship on their mind. That's how you're supposed to do it. So I don't know how Marcus Freeman looks in the college football landscape and say, "Oh, we need to get a transfer to fix our issues." No. The reason why Brian Kelly left the way he did, in my opinion, is because he knew that once he got quarterbacks in transfer portal, it was over. Because he ain't about to be shown as no guy that can't evaluate talent or can't coach. The last thing he's gonna do is appear to not look like he can coach.
Mm-hmm.
He said that was his white flag was getting a transfer report. That's how he conceded. He
Like
said,
I
you
would
know
have been
what?
on board. I would have been on board. And hindsight is 2020. But like just relating this to Steve Sarkisian and how he set the table at Texas when he got there. I would have been on board if Marcus Freeman came in and said, I'm gonna go to the transfer portal my first year.
Conceded way too early.
You know what I'm saying? If he looked at
Because for
Tyler
what?
and Drew,
Because and you're absolutely right. Because for what, Marcus Freeman?
the first
What
year
do
you
you
set the
have to
tone.
prove your first year?
Right.
What do you have? Who
Yeah.
who in the world is expect you to win a championship undefeated your first year? You're not being realistic. You're not being realistic. Your first year you go to the transfer portal. Why? Why? Nobody on the planet is expecting you to go undefeated and win a championship. So knowing that, what are you so pressed to get a guy to do what? You just starting out. How you just starting out reaching for pieces when you have things in the cupboard unopened?
Mm.
You going to get spaghetti when we got spaghetti in the container. What you doing? Because it's got a new package on it. We got it's good. And the fact that you started out doing that, it put distrust in your coaching staff because now we got to question what Gino Caduli even did this year. Would you just paid him for a year free, like a month free rent? You know, you get some of them deals. You move into a place that give you first month free.
Mm-hmm.
Just pay the little down payment. What we just give Gino Gaduli a free year, a nice contract, and a good office? You can't tell me he impacted Sam's career this season. How? And then to come up right after the next season and say you need to do it again for what? What did we prove with Sam? What did we prove with Sam? That we just run the ball more? That we still using the tight end? That we still don't have no X factor at receiver? So I do think that Sam, if he had another year, be one or two games a little bit better, maybe. But he don't have the talent to really show much more than he is who he is. But no different than Riley, who we don't know, and he doesn't know who he can really be. And then you're gonna toss him into a whole new situation.
Mm.
He can't. Riley Leonard can't even look at film from the year before and get an idea of what we're doing. Because how did we support Sam? Sam was more of a piece than he was a foundation. He just was a guy handing the ball off, doing a couple plays here and there, but what was the offense truly? So that's why it goes back to when
So
Steve Angeli comes in. Steve
yeah.
Angeli knows because you got the offensive coordinator that's been there.
So
Steve's been there.
basically, you're saying Jared Parker is putting more pressure on himself.
Jared Parker is putting more pressure on himself because he knows that he's got to train a guy to do something that has no idea. When Sam was telling you in the spring, shit, I got to ask Tyler. You supposed to be beating Tyler. You supposed to be, teaching Tyler how to be a vet. You 50 games in, 12,000 yards. He don't know how to throw that well. You supposed to be giving him some tips on the way of showing him. I mean, let's be honest. The only way it works is look at the NFL. Peyton Manning went and took his whole offense to Denver. You thought
Mm,
Peyton Manning was going to go in there and learn a new what?
mm,
You really thought Peyton Manning was going to go from Indianapolis and learn a whole new system in Denver? Are you crazy? You think Tom Brady was going to take a whole new offense and learn in Tampa Bay, a team that ain't won a championship ever? You crazy? What did Tom Brady go down there and do? Hey, we doing this. This is what I like. This is who I need. Hire my guys. Get my coaches in here that I need. And we going to rock out. And if you got a question, ask me. That's how you do it, a one-year guy. Hello? What did Lincoln Riley do his first year? Took the entire staff of OU and went to USC, and he immediately had success. No freaking duh. Of course. He didn't go in there doing nothing. He said, I'm taking my stuff over there. If we really believed in the 1 year, we would do the 1 year thing and bring his entire offense, Riley Leonard's entire playbook,
mm-hmm.
and run it at Notre Dame. And everybody else adjusts if you want it to work. But if we bringing him in, he's no different than bringing in C.J. Carr. He's just more beat up. Because C.J. Carr and him, C.J. Carr's just younger and got more years. But they both don't have the level of expectation of knowing what it's like to play at Notre Dame, which is half the battle. Sam had to figure that out late and realize, oh, even games we're supposed to win are kind of, they feel a little different. Yeah, because the team is playing a little better than on film every time. It's a night game. Team been foaming at the mouth all day trying to get at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a night game. Prime time, it's been, what was it, the most packed Louisville has ever been. The most packed. They had the most fans in Louisville history. History. The whole city came out to that Louisville game. You don't think them boys are ready to play? And then they go and lose crazy to Pittsburgh. But that night, oh, that was Alabama. Riley Leonard he not gonna know how to handle that. He like, man, I've always played Louisville. This ain't Louisville. These just Space Jam monsters. Yeah, because it's Notre Dame. It's like they take the spinach from Popeye and they just play way. But yes, Riley Leonard. So all these games are harder than what you thought it would be.
Yeah.
No different than C.J. Carr, which is why Steve Angeli, as much as we talk about it, of course he's the best option right now. Until you get a new offensive coordinator, until you can prove that you can develop talent behind the guy that's been there the longest, because that's the true evaluation. If you can recruit, is if you can get a guy that's been in the system for 2 to 3 years and be a pretty decent, consistent starter, and bring in that true freshman, that Tua, that Trevor Lawrence, and come in that first year and make it seem like he been there the longest. That's how you know if you can recruit. When you bringing in guys and they like, oh, they kind of disappear for a couple years and pop up, Javon McKinley, that's not good recruiting. That's not even good development in today's college football. Good development is a Caleb Downs. Come in with a lot of talent, put him out there, and he only getting better.
Because he was getting taken advantage of early.
Hey, and that's okay. That's where you see the development come on
Right.
the field. We ain't developing in the code of practice. Talking about he's been killing our scout team. What? No, they put Caleb Downs out there, let you get cooked by Texas, and then go 11 games straight. And now you up for all type of awards as a freshman All-American. That's how you do it. Because guess what Caleb Downs going to look like next year? Unstoppable. as a true sophomore. You don't go in to the point.
Well, hey, dude, I should have pulled out the organ today, bro, because you've been preaching for the last hour. That's why I just let you roll, bro. It is, look, we can sit up here, we can talk, recruit, coach, develop. That's it. That's your job as a coach. You got to have an eye for talent. You got to be able to look. Mike Mickens is a perfect example. Mike Mickens will go out and find everybody. I see people all the time, right? People like, I just don't see it with Carson Hobbs. I just don't see it with this guy. A lot of people didn't see it with Ben Morrison. He can evaluate. Heck, you can go about all the way back to Sauce Gardner. Mike Mickens can evaluate. He can coach. And his freshman DBs, Benjamin Morrison played opening night against Ohio State. He didn't have to wait till halfway through the season. He was ready to go. And he was not an early guy. Jay Mickey played against Ohio State. He made a mistake on one of the big plays of the game, but that's okay. Because when your process is get the guys ready and get them reps in the game, because that's how they're going to get better, that's coaching. That that is the essence of coaching. The Notre Dame tight ends, all the young tight ends played this year, all of them. Get them in, coach them up, put them on the field.
In the game.
Get them in the
Not
game.
that practice thing doesn't make good players. Because you playing amongst a comfortable environment. You ain't developing a comfortable environment.
And
It's
that
only
is,
hectic. It's only hectic for the first week until you get the routine down.
yeah,
Then you just have practice. But there's nothing like the game. So you can't say you develop in practice. You get the routine in practice. You develop in the game.
it is Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's switch over, Left, because we're going to talk about why we need to be paid. We're going to talk about that, or either somebody needs to hire us, or and not or but and we're going to talk about how these visits are going, and another visit has been set up for December the 8th. So we'll be right back. Lucky Lefty podcast.
That's right.
Welcome back, Lucky Lefty podcast. CFB Nation presented by It's that T.
That's right.
Man, you know what's funny, Left? Can I tell you this? Did you see what Dabo Sweeney said today?
Something crazy.
Dabo Sweeney said, and I quote, the portal's not the problem. NIL is not the problem. The problem is tampering. And we could fix that real quick if they let the football people fix it. First of all, Dabo, stop lying.
Stop lying.
Big programs have been tampering with other junior college or lower tier team players far before the transfer portal got to this point.
Easily.
That's number one. Number two, just say what you want to say. We need to make college football great again. That's what you're saying. Because you wear the other red hat that talks about making America great. You just want to go back to the way college football was. You don't want players to get paid. You don't want players to have power. You want coaches, administration, and schools to have all the power like they used to, with the NCAA doing not a darn thing. Just be honest. Just say what you want to say. We need to take things back to the way they were. You know why? Because since things have changed, you're not recruiting as well. What'd you
And you
lose?
getting guys like Will Shipley.
Did you get 7 to 8 guys in the portal this past week? Is that how many it ended up being? Some of your best players? And see, you made the mistake. and said you were retired if players got paid. I'm still waiting on that. You're supposed to be a man of your word. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting, Dabo Sweeney. It seems like you're still coaching. Let the football people fix it. The football people broke it
Absolutely. Football people been breaking it.
a long time ago. Long time ago. The football people broke it. They broke it. This is life, man. This is what happens. Life is about power, and those in power will fight tooth and nail to keep it. And the moment they start losing power, they want to go back crazy, talking about how terrible things are. Toughen up, man. Toughen up. Stop whining.
That's right.
Stop whining. Tough.
Nick Saban, the only thing he did was just continue to tell you that the game's evolving, and if y'all gonna let me run with it, I'm gonna run with it. That's a true competitor. He understands. Complaining ain't gonna stop the money from being paid to these players. That's why we gotta raise more money. That's how you solve it.
Dude, Nick Saban's like, all right, and he told you, like, all right, this is gonna make it worse. But if
I'm
this is what
spending a
y'all
check
want to do,
because
and
he can
y'all
be
want to
honest
get a
about it.
checkbook, yes,
He's not gonna let the game outdate him. Dabo was trying to fight against the evolution. Can't do that. You either go with it or look crazy that you're losing it. Jimbo Fisher tried to go with it and tried to, go too crazy. And it's a balance. You got to be able to adapt and not be overzealous either.
yeah,
Jimbo Fisher overzealous done paid to some crazy things. Now you don't have no loyalty.
yeah,
It
and
became too much about the bag.
yo, NC Notre Dame fan, thanks for tapping in as always. Um, yo, hey, see, like both people like bowl games don't matter. You still watch. What are you talking about? Regardless of whether or not all this stuff going on, the fan bases are still going. Notre Dame for Notre Dame. Notre Dame's gonna sell out wherever they go. They about to sell out the Sun Bowl, bro. They would have sold out the Gator Bowl again, the Mayo Bowl. It wouldn't have made a difference. We complain about bowl games don't matter. The fan base is gonna do the same thing. They're gonna watch on the 29th in the middle of the day, and they're gonna attend the bowl game. So it doesn't matter how college football changes and whether or not the bowl games matter. That doesn't affect revenue. It doesn't affect viewership for Notre Dame. The brand is the brand, and they know that. They know, like you're saying you don't care, but you're going to watch. Now, if you're sitting here telling me you're not going to watch the game, fine, you have a point, but you're capping. You're capping. You're capping. You're going to watch the Sun Bowl, and you're probably going to watch some other whack bowls during bowl season,
That's right.
just like the rest of us. So all of that stuff, yes, I'm going to sit up and watch the Alamo Bowl if it's on. Yes, yes, because I watch late night games from lower conferences during the regular season because I'm a college football fan. I'm a college football fan. That's what I do. I watch college football games. Now, if you want to talk about they don't matter to the kids, that's fine. And
Because the
this
kids still gonna go
information,
and play.
yeah, that changes with the power dynamic. Kids didn't have power, they played.
Even the ones that complain gonna go to the game and get the full
Yeah,
experience. It's a preference that people don't like, and something that college football. I think next year is just gonna drastically be different because of the stakes in the playoffs.
and on top of that, someone earlier asked, "Why, man? What's up with Notre Dame and the opt-outs?" People, you're seeing opt-outs from other teams because they're not hitting the award banquet circuit. Notre Dame's best players are either at award ceremonies, doing other things, And that's why they haven't released their opt-out information. Sam Hartman, I have no idea what Sam Hartman is waiting on. Him, Kenny Minchie, Steve Angeli, they went to the women's game last night together, kicking it. Maybe Sam is still pondering his decision. But you got three players. Mayers did his because, yo, I'm done. I'm making a decision to prepare for the Senior Bowl. I'm done. I can announce mine right now. But Hartman, Joe Alt, Xavier Watts, the rest of these dudes that's doing the award banquet circuit, dude. Next week we'll find out. When they're done with the circuit, I'm sure we'll find out. We'll find out. Yesterday was the first day for the 6th and the 7th. So the visit should be concluding. You got RJ Oben coming in tomorrow for a visit left. We did a show yesterday talking about how well Notre Dame cleaned up before they started the visits, and visitors started coming into the program. Notre Dame did a great job. Notre Dame's doing a great job with their presentation, presenting to everyone that's coming to visit, wide receivers, those two that have committed, Chris Mitchell, Jordan Clark, is going to be playing nickelback. Marcus Freeman and his staff, they recovered nicely. So I'm not going to do anything or say anything until things become official. But things are looking good. Things are looking good as far as these visits go. Things are looking good. So we'll see. It's a possibility they can end up with all three receivers. But I think they definitely come out with two receivers at minimum from this process. At minimum. So left, we should be getting a revenue check in the mail. Can't speak for anybody else, but I know both of us said that the one thing that needs to be included in the new television deal with NBC was a Hard Knock series on Peacock. Did we not say this on this summer on the show?
Yes, we did.
I'm just saying, dude, we are somewhat prophets left. Once again, we throw something out there, and according to reports, Notre Dame next season will be developing a Hard Knocks type weekly series about the Notre Dame football program. It made sense. We also said they needed to do more content on the Watch ND as far as interviews, the show. Next thing you know, here comes Wake Up the Echoes. I'm left. They just need to give us a consultant check, bro.
Them and Under Armour.
Yes. How long did we say do the Marcus Freeman line? I've been screaming that. They do that. I'm just saying, you can go ahead, just bring us into the fold. Just bring us into the fold.
We should definitely be cabinet members.
Who is going to be? Because you watch the Dolphins in season Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Tua is actually kind of entertaining. I thought Tua was going to be boring. Tua is actually an entertaining person to see every week.
I mean, he was a pretty likable guy at Alabama. The guys really responded well. Remember, he got hurt, had the whole team show up to the hospital bed. That's a sign of a guy that good locker room guy. Guys really get behind and tend to root for.
So my question to you and Notre Dame fans: who is going to be the one guy you want to watch every week? on Notre Dame Hard Knocks?
Hopefully, we get some good characters, man. I think definitely got to be a focus on the freshmen.
So you
If
think
we,
CJ?
yeah, that's a good one. And then just storylines on the team. I'll put a camera in everything the receiver does next year, from the
Yeah.
coach to the room to the players that
No,
we
Mike
expect to be
McDaniel.
improved.
Mike McDaniel is very entertaining. Very entertaining. Um.
Put one in the defensive back room
Uh huh.
with Makins. I think he's a great character. Quarterbacks, obviously. One should follow Kenny Minchie. Marcus Freeman got to have a cam on his recruiting trips, inside of that. So I think there's definitely a lot of heat on the bone, man, for in season. I think what the fans really want to see, though, they really want to see is, more inside of practice and what that looks like. I think that's the most gold you can get from any football show is the insides of practice and how it goes and what happens in there. Because even the highlights that we get for Notre Dame, isn't that great? They just
Hmm.
close up pics, you can't tell nothing, and you see the end of plays, or it's not that. But I think people really get a lot from it if we were actually in the practices, meeting rooms, what goes on during those controversial times. If they want to make money, now if they secret squirrel, I don't think if that's the case. What's the point of doing it? You know what I mean?
What was it like? Because you guys kind of had a Hard Knocks type show the season you were injured, right? And we that's when we saw you working with the Flag Football League, rolling around on the scooter and everything. Was it more difficult for you? Would it have been more fun for you if you had been playing?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously you want to go there to play, so all that other stuff was just stuff that you were able to do when you couldn't play. It was a good experience to be somewhere that provided stuff like that. It wasn't just football stuff only. So it kind of keeps you going, but it's definitely painted a lot of good things for guys outside of that show that found love for different things, and I think it was a good thing for the team. It was the right time to have it. I think that was one of Brian Kelly's better moves as a coach to be on that early on before it really got somewhere. So, from a business perspective, it was pretty cool to see that. I think the guys liked it, and after a while, you forget the cameras there, and that's when you start getting some good stuff. Um, but I think Marcus Freeman at this day and age would be a perfect person to have that for his team. Something to refresh and get the people hyped for his third season of a different season of being in the playoffs. So to see them kind of prepare and all that would be cool to get a glimpse of as well.
Let's get to the bad questions and get out of here, Left. Thank you for everybody that joined us today. Great show. NC Notre Dame fan says another question from Lee. How different is playing quarterback in high school compared to college?
Well, it's the people care a lot more, so you actually preparing and you realize how much preparing is the key to success outside of just playing the game, knowing what the team is doing and how they're attacking you, and as a quarterback, preparing the right way for moments in the game because that's
Mm,
what games are decided by, and you build yourself up to prepare for situational football is the difference. In high school, you can win a game in the first quarter. It's not every week you're going against a challenge, and in college, not every week's a challenge, but the preparation has to be at a certain level and expectation because even when you blow teams out, you got to still prepare in order to do that. So the whole notion of the game is won the days before the game is a true statement that you got to embody because, you know, everybody plays good in the beginning of the season because you're coming out of practice and routine and every day with the guys. But with late November and these December, January time, it relies on a methodology and a consistent process of the right preparation, and it's less physical preparation later in the season, which a lot of guys don't understand because it just you haven't been on a schedule like this before to where you're playing late into the year and the lifts ain't the same and the energy and effort ain't at the same intensity, but you gotta find ways to prepare. And a lot of it is an autopilot thing where if you have really good habits, training habits, study habits, preparation habits, less physical, we talking all mental and discipline, you're gonna be able to see why guys are really good and guys kind of falter later in the year and get hurt and all type of stuff. So it's the guys that can prepare the best are usually the better quarterbacks because later in the even Caleb, you know, playing worse and worse in the season comes from which you'll find out a lot in the NFL is that it comes down to how you prepare week to week. That's how you get to year 5 and 6 and 7 because you got that routine down to where that's your process. So guys that don't have processes or don't know how to have a process, you usually get exposed in that second year because football is too hard and at that level guys are, as you can tell with Michigan, are working overly hard to try to win. So you got to be at that type of preparation like these guys are that get paid to do this job, which changes a lot too. You start getting paid and money involved. You know, people taking that thing serious. So if you're not a serious preparer, or you're not interested in that mental aspect, you're just gonna be an average player towards the end of October, early November.
Thank you for the super chat, Joe Prosciutto. Do you guys honestly believe Jared Parker is the answer for OC? Personally, I think he would struggle to call the offense for St. Joseph High School. Very surprised, frustrated that he is still our OC.
I think it's just a spoiled way to look at it. I mean, the man won 9, almost 10 games this year, highest point total we probably had on average in a while. That's a nitpicking thing, and anything greater than what he's given us will put us in some of the best offenses in the country statistically. You know, I mean, we had what 3 games where we put up 50 when the last time we ever did something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's easy to say that he's we don't have that flashy player that most top offenses have that complete the whole narrative of you got that great offense, especially when you look at Texas where they got noticeable names and Washington got noticeable names and all of that. But statistically and on a record wise, from I'm sure in-house, Jared Parker probably feels like he did a hell of a job for his first year. I mean, granted, Notre Dame's going to supply you with at least 7 wins. I'll say that. They're going to give you 7 because of who it is, and we're going to stay afloat at a certain level. But Jared Parker did a good job in some games where, you can say he got in his bag, So there's so many different factors that go on when you talk about why offense isn't doing great. And it's easy to pin on Jared Parker, but taking a step back and, in hindsight, he's done a pretty good job for a first year offensive coordinator. Now, it would be nice, and obviously, it would be great to see a quarterback that we had in the Heisman consideration, which we did with Sam now. People forget how fast that went away, but it was there. He was fourth before Ohio State now. So it just comes down to nitpicking. I think if he was an offensive coordinator that led us to a 500 season, yeah, I would agree with you. But the man has excelled the standard and average college football expectation for a first year guy. Obviously, Notre Dame, we want to, just like the offensive line being an average offensive line for about 4 games, we about to lose our mind. You know what I mean? So they're like a 9-10 win season is just not good enough. I think we can, just like Marcus Freeman, we're going to show a much more of appreciation for the program that we built once are able to put ourselves in that playoff contention next year and realize that this regular season isn't going to make or break us like seasons before because of who we've been and not having a conference, but also just beefing up our schedule to leave no doubt. And now we're just in a position where we're just trying to build ourselves up to get ready for that second part of the season, which is the playoffs next year.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Let's see. Robin Dennis says, Shaun and Malik, have you heard anything about who they are looking at as the new strength and conditioning coach? I have. I've heard 2 names, but I'm not saying any names until we get into the thick of that. But the 2 names I've heard are they come from reputable spots. I'll put it that way. It's not like they're coming from, no disrespect to Chris Mitchell. It's not like they're going to get the strength and conditioning guy from Florida International. That's not happening. The guys they're talking to, solid guys. Lucky Lefty podcast. Don't forget Apple Podcast, Spotify, lock in YouTube. Subscribe, share, hit the like button, and hit that notification bell. Audio edibles every day. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast. You already know. We spin it different. No, that's funny. The track record of Cincinnati guys that have come to Notre Dame is pretty good. While cats out there trying to be funny. That's all I'm saying. You know what time it is.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, Petty Story today brought to you by Nora Whiskey and NoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey and NoraWhiskey.com. Nick Bosa, punch your ticket for the Petty train, my brother. This is actually funny, Left.
I mean, you see it on tape, though, and then obviously we put the blueprint out there. Hopefully, Cowboys watch the tape. We made Jalen stay in the pocket and escape outside instead of those B gaps, and paid off. Because Jalen's looking at the rush every play. So yeah, you just have to be disciplined and not give him that quick escape route where he could get to his guys quick, and it paid off.
First of all, the fact that Nick Bosa is standing there, I don't know why all of this hate is coming at the dude that has the best record in the NFC right now as the #1 seed. But everybody wants to rain on Jalen Hurts this week. And then Nick Bosa standing there acting like he's giving like top secret on how to like defend the quarterback. That's the same thing you want to do against Patrick Mahomes. Like that, Cincinnati had that game playing for Patrick Mahomes. Like, dude, what you're saying is that's the game plan to stop any quarterback that can beat you with his legs and his arm. So when he says, "Yeah, I hope Dallas is watching because we gave no, you need Dallas to win the game so you can get the number one seed." You're begging Dallas for help. You're begging Dallas for help. It's like good win. You went to Philly, you got the win. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
go ahead.
But it's like, dude, what are we talking about? He really was talking like we gave Dallas the blueprint.
Yeah, it's
All
like,
right.
dude, just be happy with your win, man. Because talking like that, you're not beating your allegations. You're not beating them allegations, dog. Because it's just like, where is this coming from? Where you just so talkative? I want to hear you break down how you do it every week. Then how about that? How you break down Kenny Pickett or something? Talk about that. Good grief. But yeah, Jalen definitely been catching flack. But honestly, I mean, not doing anything.
I do. I don't understand it, Left. It has really been a tough week, man, after one game.
After what, like, Philly's already a tough enough place to play, but now you getting all these random shots taken at you. Hey, that's what happens, man. When you playing well, they want to take shots at the throw, man.
Man, look. Oh man. Oh boy. Lucky Lefty podcast. Left. Safe travels, bro. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have some news that we can get into after these visits. And then talk about some other stuff. And I think we're gonna have Bruce Feldman on tomorrow as well, Left.
Sounds
Talk
good.
about these quarterbacks. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the second semifinal from Vegas in the in-season tournament. The Pacers won the first one over the Bucks. Tyrese Halliburton put in work. And I think next is it Lakers Pelicans next?
I think so.
I think so. Zion against LBJ. Lucky Lefty podcast, man. Everybody, have a great evening. Make sure you spend it different.